Hello and welcome to One Take. I'm Dale Kirster. One Take CEO interviews are short interviews with business leaders talking about the most pressing issues of the day. Lately, of course, that's COVID-19. We also have economic repercussions from COVID-19. So as we've talked about the initial wave of what COVID meant for businesses, we're now also talking about what's next. And today, we're joined with Stacy Demskie, who's with Mainstreet Bakery. Stacy's seen a lot. She came into the business while it was already going through some transitioning over a year ago. And then all of that has actually been expedited a bit here in the last about 3 to 4 months. So Stacy, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Stacy, tell people a little bit about your journey with Mainstreet. You came in last year. Why did you come in? What was going on back then? And what did you do during 2019 with the business?
Sure. So just a little overview of Mainstreet Bakery. We specialize in artisan breads, which are freshly delivered daily, and then a variety of other just high quality products. I came in mid-2018, mid-year. That's when new ownership had taken over the bakery, and they asked Platinum Group asked if I would come in and help them out with the bakery. So what we've been working on, kind of right out of the gate, was doing some rebranding, and obviously getting our vision set. Where do we want this business to be in the next 2 to 3 years? That was kind of our goal. So setting that vision and some strategy at the same time. So a lot of marketing initiatives, which also kind of getting ourselves really set up so that we can be certified, which would take us to the next step for the larger accounts.
So during 2019, then what did you do? And tell us a little bit about what is certification in your context and why was that important?
Sure. So, the bakery was not set up to be certified or as far as good manufacturing practice, the GMP certification, which is part of the whole food safety program that any food manufacturer should have in place. So really focusing on that, bringing in a food safety manager who could help take us to that next step. So a lot of 2019 was focused on that, getting everything that we needed to get ourselves through that audit, which we were successful in completing. And along with that, like I mentioned, like the rebranding, really, establishing what are we good at and what do we want to focus on, and going out, redoing the website and just really going out and visiting with customers.
So what did you decide you should refocus on, and what you're really good at, and what did you have to drop in the process?
What we're really good at is that artisan, that hands-on, good quality, the breads and the rolls is really what we're good at. That's what we're known for, that good quality.
So heading into 2020, let's say February, how are things looking in February after you did all that work? First of all, what did certification and kind of refocusing do for you, and where did that get the company as of February of this year?
Sure. Yeah, we were set up really nice. Coming out of that certification that we completed in September of 2019, really set us up to be in a good spot. And going out and trying to get some bigger accounts, we were working with Lunds and Byerly's was probably our biggest account that we were working on, and we're so close to completing that come February. And then we had some other larger hospitality accounts as well, even going into the gaming side of things with Mystic Lake. So we were doing really well going into that, February, kind of end of February.
So then what happened as of, when you stepped back and looked at everything as of April 1st? What had happened by April 1st with some of those things?
Right. April 1st, a lot of challenges. We had just started our daily delivery to Lunds and Barley's. Um, that was the second week in March. So, um, that account was um, the revenue with that was more than double of what we were currently doing. So a lot of logistics involved in operations and delivery in getting that perfected, really. So we were still working on that, and then with the COVID at the same time, a lot of our revenue came from the hospitality industry prior to these new accounts. So that's really what was taking us through as we were transitioning to some larger accounts as well. And that just dropped off. We lost the majority of that come that third week in March, which took us all the way through April. But yet we were so fortunate to have grabbed that the other industry, market of the grocery stores.
So did that offset it, or where were you, or where are you now, year to date, or I guess, sorry, where are you compared with where your plan was for this year in terms of where revenues and earnings are as you look at this point in time?
Right now, we're actually a little, well, I would say we're about flat right now, which is actually, we're in a good seat. I consider that a really good seat right now to be flat. But yet we're also headed upwards. So prior to this COVID, sure, we were predicting or higher revenue, but we're still higher than we were in 2019.
That's
So,
great. That's
right. So that in 2019 we're up, but what our prediction for, we're flat. But
that's wonderful. We hear a lot of other companies that have had the opposite. So it's great that you were where you were at, that you've done the work you did in 2019. What are your greatest challenges today? And as you look at, kind of keeping up with uncertainty and what might happen next with the economy, how are you looking at the next 6 months?
yeah, our biggest challenge right now is we have so much more business that or opportunity for business. We constantly have new new opportunities coming to us that, and it's hard to take that on right now. Labor is a big challenge. There's a lot of fear out there, especially when it comes to manufacturing. So there's a lot of fear of people coming in and working. So getting labor is a big challenge. But as
How,
far as
how are you dealing with that? How are you addressing that fear issue? Because we've heard that elsewhere. We also have heard that the extra dollars that people have been paid through stimulus funding has led some people to think, okay, I have the risk of going back to work health-wise. Meanwhile, I'm getting some additional money to stay at home. How are you dealing with those two challenges right now?
it's definitely a problem, both of those issues, and it's control what we can control. We're so fortunate. We have a lot of longevity in the bakery, and so we still have employees who are coming every day, who are dedicated, and they're willing to work overtime, and we do whatever we can to make them happy. We focus on the opportunity, we focus on our vision, we focus on giving them some normalcy, and it's really one day at a time. That's it, hopefully pretty soon that as far as the extra income on unemployment, that's got to end here soon, and hopefully we can get some more employees in. But
When you say you're
we
focusing,
still get people coming through our door for applications, so that's good.
yeah. When you say you're kind of focusing on the mission and also the normalcy, give us a couple of examples. How is the mission important, and then how do you give them some normalcy?
Yeah, the mission, our vision, and is so important. where did we want to take this company before this started? And, uh, the vision of we want everyone to be successful. And that's really what, coming to work every day, working as a team where, there's a lot of family here as well. And just more than anything, we want that success. And I think a lot of that's so easy to be lost, in this fear right now. And just, having that normalcy of getting up in the morning and going to work. That's what we know. That's what we do best. That's what we know. And being able to give that to employees. I think that's really important. A lot of people long for that normalcy, even though they're fearing that normalcy it's a purpose. Giving them that.
That's a good point. When it comes to wanting everybody to be successful, how do you do that with your bakery operations?
I think it's genuine leadership. That's, how, I'm just there to guide. Uh, you know, like I said, we just have, exceptional employees, and, setting that vision together. This is where we want to be in that 2 to 3 years, and it takes a team to do that. And just providing that leadership, that positive leadership, and to show, to focus on what we do the best and being prepared. I think through all of this is showing that we are prepared as best as we can. We will control what we can control. It's always good to have several plan Bs in your pocket. It's changing constantly, but really to show them by streamlining and really doing all that cross training is so critical right now, and to operate lean. But when they see management and leadership doing everything that we can and really preparing the business for the next challenge, that really engages them. And we like I said, that normalcy. You come to work every day and we still make each other laugh. It's as normal as you can get when you're here.
Yep. And
That
then
helps.
when it comes to getting additional talent for these opportunities you're talking about, are you raising wages? Are you looking at changing benefits to attract more talent? I'm hearing that from some other folks. We've even seen it from some of the larger retailers recently. What are your thoughts in terms of what you need to do to attract more talent as you get more of these opportunities?
Right. Yeah, no doubt. You have to be competitive with wages. You have to do that. I think we always were. Labor has always been a challenge in this industry, as it is with any manufacturing. So I always believe in being that more competitive, because you want to retain those employees that, there's a lot of training that goes on with especially with the artisan and that. So you get these employees in and you want them to stay. Well, you have to treat them well. You got to pay well, and it's worth it in the long run. And that's more efficient as you go. You have more employees you have that are good at what they do. They're faster at what they do. That's going to lead to a lot more efficiency.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm a big believer in paying up, and keeping what you got.
That's great. You mentioned logistics before, and I know we're running out of time here, but 2 last questions. What have you done on the logistics front, both in terms of finding good talent there, but also with having to make sure it's COVID-19 safe?
Yep, logistics, that's another big challenge for us, has been. But we've been able to grab a couple of our competitors that no longer are doing that fresh daily delivery, which has put us in a good place. We were able to grab some of their employees, and also finding that college students, it's a really good job for them, and they really appreciate that little bit higher pay in that too. So really utilizing that. That's going to be another hurdle at the end of summer, come fall. But that's what we've done during all of this. It's been just a saving grace for us to be able to grab a lot of responsible, college students that want to do that and help us out. As far as the precautions and that, it's a lot of training. With our drivers, we obviously go through the training and what they need to do as far as sanitation and taking care of the fleet and all that. But then also some of our bigger accounts, they have very strict guidelines as well. And they will actually be taking temperatures of all of our drivers and that. So really haven't had any issues as far as compliancy with any of our logistics, which is great.
Two last questions. One is, how many people do you employ and how many different companies or locations do you provide your goods to?
Yep, we kind of fluctuate between that 45 and 50 employees as far as our accounts. I should know this number now, but it's been so up and down. We're right around that 150 different locations.
Great. And then last question is, anything else I should have asked you about? What else would you like other leaders to know? Any tips? Any challenges that you still have to address that might be good to share with them as well?
Sure. Yeah. I think any advice I would have, just really staying true to yourself. Anyone who's in a senior management position, just, it's a very stressful time, and to just really stay true to yourself and really lead with no, lead, genuinely and take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself. That's so important right now, which is what I'm finding is, you got to leave and go release as well. And what I would do differently, maybe a little bit more consulting in the beginning with others in my role, and with, within the industry, what they're doing as precautions and that. I think that would have been helpful to set up a little bit more of those relationships.
Okay, great. Well, I think that does it. We're out of time, but Stacy, thank you very much for joining us today on One Take.
Thank you, Dale. Great to be here.
Thank you. And I want to thank our sponsor, Platinum Group, which for nearly 40 years has helped companies through challenging times. If you have any challenging times you'd like some advice on, second set of eyes, second opinion, give them a call or just look them up at theplatinumgrp.com. Once again, I want to thank our sponsor, thank Stacy, and thank all of you for joining us today. We'll see you next time on One Take.